Good morning.
Get their attention, kids.
You guys are like having way too much fun out there. I'm here, you're here, let's do something. Want to have a Sunday service maybe? Just sounds good to me. All you folks watching online, thanks for making time for this today. You know, we're in that weird season where April, May, the weather is just like up and down and up and down. So today a little bit gray, a little bit cool, but I'm seeing lots of tulips, one of my favorites, sprouting out there. So that's a good thing. And it's always a good thing to have you here in the building, to feel your energy, to see your smiles. Thank you for that. If you are watching for the first time online, I'm Kity Benson. I'm the minister here at Unity. And Kim-Char's come back from across the ocean with Cindy, so yay for that. And thank you to our wonderful Highest Good team. Mark and Mark are here today. What are we singing first today? Yes, that's an easy one-word song, right? How'd you like to stand as you're able? And let's sing. If you like to sing and sit, that's an option too.
Good morning, everyone. We say yes to Spirit this very day. This very day, this very hour, I claim my good, I say yes to the power within me. This very second, I pay attention to the inner voice that beckons, the inner voice that beckons me. Let's sing that again. Oh! This very day, this very hour, this very second, I pay attention to the inner voice that beckons, the inner voice that beckons me. And I say yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000 times. Oh yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000 times, yes. Yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000,000 times, yes. May I always say yes to the inner voice that beckons, the inner voice that beckons me. Back to the top. Oh, this very day, this very hour, I claim my good, I say yes to the power within me. This very second, I pay attention to the inner voice that beckons, the inner voice that beckons me. And I say yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000 times, yes. And yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000 times, yes. Yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000,000 times, yes. May I always say yes to the inner voice that beckons, the inner voice that beckons me. Let's say yes again. Oh, yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000 times, yes. Oh, and yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000 times, yes. Oh, yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000,000 times, yes. May I always say yes to the inner voice that beckons, the inner voice that beckons me. I say yes. Oh! Aloha. Aloha. I'll admit, I slept a little late because I got a little jet lag. But something happens when we walk in this room, doesn't it? We say yes. We say, I am alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. And we allow Spirit to move as Spirit does, and we allow ourselves to move way on up in that energy. Amen? Way up, higher, way up, here I go. Way up, before I know it, I am rising to new horizons. Way up, higher, way up, here I go. Way up, before I know it, I am rising to new horizons. Way up, yes, I am graduating to another level. I am ready to rise, 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 rise. I cut the rope, fear is falling from me. I am beginning to fly, 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 fly. Way up, higher, way up, here I go. Way up, before I know it, I am rising to new horizons. Way up, back to the verse, and I am graduating to another level. I am ready to rise, 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 rise. I cut the rope, fear is falling from me. I am beginning to fly, 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 fly. Way up, higher, way up, here I go. Way up, before I know it, 'cause I am rising to new horizons. Way up, oh, higher, way up, here I go. Way up, before I know it, I am rising to new horizons. Way up.
Dying up there, so let's just all open our hearts and allow that energy, that presence, that divine substance that's within us and all around us to just lift us up into that higher realm that intertwines with the physical. Right now in this moment, Spirit, we're so grateful to be an expression of that way up knowing, that higher point of view, that sense of God is all that is, and I am one with God. God is all that is, and I am one with God. Say that with me. God is all that is, and I am one with God, and so it is. Let's take a look up here on the screen for our invocation and speak these words together. There's only one presence, one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Thank you. You may be seated.
God is all there is, and there is only love. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. aside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love.
Thank you. Thank you, team. Anybody here an expert on economics? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Anybody? And okay, yay! Somebody in the back row. Jackie, is that you? Okay. And Judd's going to do it too. All right. So Judd or Jackie, the JJs, you're going to see them after the service in case I totally screw this up because I kind of flunked economics in high school. It was the last time I even thought about it, really. There's been a lot of attention put on the economy lately, so I thought it might be time to talk about it. And believe it or not, economics and spirituality go together. And if you didn't know that, you're in the right place today, man, because we're definitely going to tell you how that happens. I had to look up a definition for economics because I put it out of my mind as quick as I could. But it says that it's a branch of knowledge concerned with production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Okay? Kind of complicated. See? Not easy class to pass. And we're starting this new message series today that I'm referring to as Your Abundant Good. Doesn't that sound like fun? Your abundant good, something that we all want to experience. But you may have the question that when the economy starts to turn sour, does that have an effect on our abundant good? Go back to how economics works. It starts with production. And that's how do goods get produced? A lot of times we turn to manufacturers, corporations. Once in a while, there's an entrepreneur out there that creates something fun. But for the most part, that's where we head. Once in a while, they run out of money. Once in a while, they can't get a loan or they go bankrupt. And then how do they produce goods? Where do our goods come from? We might make them ourselves. Now, I'm guessing that at least one of you here is growing basil in your kitchen window. Thank you, Carol. Okay, good to know, Troy. So if you get hungry, see them. And I know that at least one of you can knit a shawl. Pointing, yeah, in case you get cold, see them. And we've got several people here that can paint pictures, so if you want decor, for your living room, see them. And for the most part, we go for money as a way to provide our goods. So we might look at our employer or our 401k. We might look at our Social Security or even some alimony, right, as a way to help us buy our goods. And we're all very familiar with what happens when there's a shortage of that. Anybody here experienced any shortage at all with your funds? Just one of you? Okay, good. All right. I'm really glad you're here today, Liz, because just messing with you. All right. So we're going to explore, and I promised this in the article this week in the e-news about this message series, that we're going to explore how to experience this abundant flow in our life no matter what the circumstances are, no matter how bad the economy gets. Your abundant flow is always present. Take a big breath of relief. Oh, thank goodness, yes? Okay, so at this point, you're probably like rubbing your hands with glee. Show me the money, Kity. Except that that's not why I'm here today. Really doesn't have a whole lot to do with money as much as we think that our abundant flow is. So this is the absolute foundation. What we're going to talk about today, it's the absolute foundation of any abundance in our life. So I'm hoping you're tuned in, listening very closely, and if you don't get it, see me afterwards and we'll talk about, or you might need to talk to Jackie. No, I'm sure I can answer any of your questions. All right, so let's go back to production in our life. You know, way back when Jesus was walking the planet, they actually turned to gods for their production. Do you remember that? Some of them, it kind of depended on what culture you lived on. So some people would worship the god Mercury because he was in charge of trade. So if you were trying to run a business, you'd probably, sacrifice some lamb out on the corner to make Mercury happy. Some of us would worship the goddess of craft. So you guys that are knitters, you might have turned to Minerva. There was a god of agriculture. That was Balarama. And Min, also, depending on what culture you're in, Min was a god of harvest. And then on Fridays, usually, everybody got together to worship Bacchus, who is the god of grapes and wine production. Right? Fridays? Anybody? All right. So these gods came about, we think, because there was forces of nature happening in the world that people didn't understand. And so they just decided, let's blame it on the gods. They made these up as they went along. We are still doing that. We still believe that there are forces out there that we can't control. And so we have named some gods to be in charge of that. One of those was probably our employer is a god and can determine our wealth or not. You might see the young generation as a god because everybody worships beauty, right? You might see your bank account or the doctor's diagnosis as gods because they seem to have control over forces that you can't control. At least you believe that. And the first commandment was as good to all those who worship gods in Jesus' day as it is today. What is the first commandment? Who remembers? You shall not have any other god before me. What does that mean? It's what we just talked about here this morning. One presence, one power. And that is not a power or a presence that pays you back for sacrificing animals. It's not one that loves you but hates you. It's a presence. It's expressing as a presence. And that which creates our infinite good is the presence of God as what we call a substance. You've heard me talk about this word before. If you get no other spiritual principle, this is the one you need to understand in order to experience your abundant flow. And it's something that if we could see involved in everything that we can experience in this physical dimension, you will start to get it. Think of it as a spiritual energy everywhere present. Now, although we don't take the book of Genesis literally when it describes how the world was created, I want you to just listen to this from chapter 1. Everybody's heard it. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep. And then God said, let there be. Okay, so what's so cool about that light is that's how science is saying that the universe started. That there was this thing they called a singularity. It was about the size of a pinhead, and when it exploded, we had the beginnings of a universe. And it was expressing itself as photons, the most basic element, teeny tiny little photons of light. And I found this interview between Deepak Chopra, he's one of my favorite teachers, and he was talking with a physicist by the name of Minas Kafatos. I think I'm saying that right. And just a little light conversation. They were talking about what is the source of the universe. I love conversations like that. My hunch is they wouldn't get it answered in a simple little 7-minute interview. But it's a good question to ponder. What is the source of the universe? Now, again, let's go back to science here for a minute. It didn't come out of something. It's made of no thing. It's also not made out of space or time. And the closest that I think Deepak would probably come to it is to say it came from a void, or his favorite description is a field of pure potential, infinite potentiality. And when you think of it that way, when you put the word field there, you tend to think of a space somewhere, right? Not that kind of field. Think of field as a realm of consciousness. That the universe came forth out of an infinite realm of consciousness. Now, most scientists won't agree to that quite yet, but we're really close to getting them to believe this, because what's happening is they've discovered that the universe is flashing in and out of existence at teeny tiny microseconds, so quickly that our senses can't detect it. And that means even your bodies are flickering in and out of existence. But what's really confusing, they call it the deep problem of science, is why is it that when the universe flickers into existence over and over and over again, it always shows up the same way? It holds the same pattern. When something like that happens, they'll say, hey, there's no randomness here to this process. There must be, or at least Deepak is going to head in this direction, there must be a sense of self-awareness or an organizing consciousness behind it. So there it is. If you choose to believe that this universe is flashing. Now, why it has to flash in and out of existence, and it can't just stay stable, is above my pay grade. But what I do think is that this consciousness of the divine mind, creator that it is holding this universe together in its thoughts. Have I not told you? Have I not said this? If you were paying attention, have you not heard me say that we are thoughts? You and I are thoughts held in the mind of God. How many of you here remember me saying that? Okay, so I get some credit for coming up with this first. We're thoughts held in the mind of God. Now, I have to give Paul some credit, as much as he totally screwed up the whole original sin idea. Hebrews 11:3, he said, by faith we understand that the worlds were prepared by the word of God, so that what is seen was made from things that are not visible. What's not visible? Consciousness. Can't see consciousness. This is the hard thing to grasp in our consciousness, is the understanding of what consciousness is. It doesn't take up space, doesn't play in time. That my hunch is when you leave the body, you will see that you are only consciousness, but the things you can do, the places you'll go with that consciousness, if you understand it and if you take advantage of it. Imagine that it's a realm like soil that a farmer plants a seed into. You're in charge of planting the seeds and then watching it come to pass. So we're going to talk more about that next week. But we first have to understand what we use, because so many of us are caught up in this conversation of I don't have enough, that I'm here to tell you today you do. So we describe it this way. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, said that substance is everywhere present. It underlies all manifestation and is the spiritual essence, the living energy out of which everything is made. It sustains and enriches any idea that is projected into it. Remember that. Out of it, we form whatever we will, according to our faith and imagination. Spiritual realization of divine substance enriches the thought stuff of the mind. Jesus considered divine substance the treasure field in which he could find the fulfillment of his every need. Let's say this last sentence together, the rich substance. Together. The rich substance of the kingdom of God is pouring its plenty perpetually into my mind and affairs, and I am in all ways prospered. That's pretty powerful. So, substance, the element, the energy that we need to be able to create our life experience, starts in the invisible realm. God expressing. God is substance. So God doesn't have to go to some factory to haul some in for today's supply. We're not talking about God having to borrow it, on credit kind of thing. It's what God is. God is also mind. God is also creator. God is also love and life and intelligence and all kinds of wonderful things. But today we're seeing God as substance, your supply. That infinite energy everywhere present. So we're never separate from it, and this is what Jesus was talking about when he said the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's within you. Your body is made out of substance, and it's our thoughts that help determine how it's expressing today. So something that comes from the book of James, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. Another just metaphysical term for how this good stuff that we're always seeking is in the spiritual dimension that's intertwined with the physical. We wouldn't even have the physical if the spiritual was not sourcing it. Are you following this? Okay, so we should be able to see this abundant flow, not with our eyes, but in our mind as constant, infinite, always present. And you're probably saying right now, but Kity, then why do we see lack? We all know that lack is out there. It's on the news every day. We've all experienced it. How in the world are we going to see this abundant flow? We've all been there. We don't see that we're always prospered because we're looking in the wrong place for it. So I have to tell you the joke that I've told some of you before, just to help you settle into this. So there was a group of scientists who decided that they had advanced so far that they no longer needed God to contribute in any way. So they sent a scientist to God. Just imagine this, kind of suspend your belief here for a little while. A scientist walked up to God and said, hey, we're doing pretty good. We can clone things. We can kind of create whatever it is we need. So we don't really need you any longer. Why don't you just go and get lost? And God said, oh, okay, all right. Well, that's very interesting, and you're certainly entitled to your opinion. And I'm just going to suggest this. How about if we do this? How about if we have a man-making contest? And, the scientist said, sure, why not? Let's get started. And he bent down and he grabbed some dirt, and God said, oh, no. You have to go make your own dirt. Okay, same thing. Dirt that we might see with our eyes and think that's our supply didn't come from just dirt. It didn't just start that way. It started in the invisible spiritual energy of spirit, waiting to be expressed. So why don't we see that everywhere present divine provision? Because we're looking at it with the wrong eyes. We have to change our consciousness. Judge not by appearance, but with right judgment. Seek first the kingdom. Look at the spiritual dimension in your heart, in your mind, in your consciousness. And remember first that that's where all your good comes from. And if we are really paying attention, let me just share a little bit more about what Charles Fillmore says. He said that substance cannot be seen, touched, tasted, or smelled, yet it's more substantial than matter. For it's the only substantiality in the universe. And keep in mind, that's not flashing in and out of existence. Its nature is to substand or stand under or behind matter as its support and only reality. So think of substance as everywhere present, waiting to be made visible, and you are responsible for making it visible. Again, next week we'll talk more about that, but let me share what Jesus said. He said, do you bring in a lamp to put it under a bowl or a bed? Instead, don't you put it on its stand? For whatever is hidden is meant to be disclosed, and whatever is concealed is meant to be brought out into the open. So we're talking about any miracle, any cure, any wonderful gift that's given started as substance. And it's seeking to be expressed as your heart desires or as you need. But what's most important to remember is it's here because God is creator. Its desire is to continue to create. And since each one of you are an expression of that creative mind, it's going to channel through you. So you have the opportunity in any given moment to decide, I'm looking for this. I'm ready for that. I'm excited about this. And then apply, plant it into your infinite substance. He said, when we talk about how to work with the substance, Jesus said, with the measure you use, it will be measured to you, and even more. So how are you playing with substance? First of all, are you even aware of it? And secondly, how are you using it? What are you thinking about it? So he goes on to say, whoever has will be given more. Whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. Now, how many of you read that and said, that's harsh? Right? Except, again, we're seeing with the wrong eyes. So what has what? Whoever has what? Money, then they get more? No. Whoever has a mansion, then they get more? No. Whoever has a great job, then they get promoted? No. Whoever has a consciousness of substance? Yes. Whoever has a spiritual understanding of how the kingdom of heaven is within and all around us? Yes. If you have that, if you have an awareness, a belief, a realization that it's all God expressing, then you can end up creating more. That's our first job, is to look at it from that perspective. So if we don't understand, we're basically just out there trying to scrape together what little we can, and good chance we'll lose that. Like the lottery winners who their money is gone in a year or two because they didn't understand this spiritual principle. They didn't know how it came. Oh, it was just luck. That'll never happen to me again. And if they work from that sense of what if I lose it, that's what they're planting into substance that gets lost. So, which way do you want to look at this? Our job is to understand the nature of economics. It has nothing to do with Harvard. It has everything to do with the one presence and power of the universe. So, it's not God's favor. It's not just important to understand what substance is. It's also important to understand how we access it. And the ultimate truth is we all do. We all are entitled because we're actually an expression of that substance. And so it's not going to go anywhere. It's always going to be present to every one of us. You don't have to have God's favor. God's sun shines on the righteous and the unrighteous, right? So that supply is available to everyone. How many of us were taught, that we came out of a family of poverty and we're always going to be poor? Or I didn't get enough education, so I'm never going to get a good enough job. Or I don't know how to handle money and I'm never going to have money. Now, it's true if you hold those thoughts. That's probably going to be true for you, but it doesn't have to be. It has nothing to do with God deciding that you're worthy and you're not. It has everything to do with your belief that we are all one with substance. You're actually the flow of divine substance. Wow. That's a lot, right? So let me share what Eric Butterworth says about this. He says, in all the many ways in which you apply yourself in the world, the universe owes you complete support. Take a deep breath of relief. The universe owes me support. The goal should not be to make money or acquire things, but to, here it is, achieve the consciousness through which the substance will flow forth when and as you need it. That's where we're headed in consciousness. How big can you think? How infinite is our supply? Think of it like the seed that you plant in the soil, and it's available to harvest depending on how big you can think, what kind of seeds you're planting. When I started Unity in Naperville, I started with nothing except my own bank account, and I knew that wasn't going to last forever. So I had a couple options. One is run for your life and not take this on, or I could think about infinite substance. I mean, I didn't have any members of the church to start with, so who knew if anybody was going to show up? Turns out on the very first Sunday, there were 12 people. And I thought, wow, how am I going to pull this off? But then I kept having to go back to substance. Oh, but they're not my source. God is my source, infinite supply, everywhere present. I'm just going to keep looking at that and thanking God for that and being aware of that presence in my life. And I was talking to a friend of mine in Oregon. She was a Unity minister as well. And she was checking in to see how the new church was going. And she said, well, I'm going to have my congregation pray for you. Great idea. So she had her congregation pray. And one day I opened up the mail, and here was a check from someone that I didn't know, donating to Unity in Naperville. And it turns out that her congregation prayed, and one woman in particular prayed and was guided to be a channel for divine substance and send money over to us. Wasn't that wonderful? Yeah, well, when I first saw it, I went, a miracle! And then I went, no, that's just the divine order at work. As long as I can hold my consciousness in alignment with what is present, I align with it enough that it produces in its expression in the physical realm. That's how it works. So when you get caught up in this economy story that's going on right now, I want you to turn away from it and remember that your source is everywhere and it never runs dry, ever. It's kind of like you're a faucet, and it will continue to pour as soon as you turn it on and keep it on. How do you turn it on? With your consciousness, with your thoughts, with your beliefs, with your feelings about the abundant flow that's already working in our lives. We just have to be the channel for it. And this can be so fun. I mean, whenever we go through one of these seasons, and we'll probably see a season like this again, but whenever there's that fear in a group of people, like your entire country, that, heading for a recession, that's an option. Or we can choose to ignore that and remember they just don't understand who our source of abundant flow is, what it is. That right now it's in the air all around us. It's in the cells of our bodies. It does express as money, but it also does express as loving relationships and creative ideas and health in the bodies. There's no limit to what it can express as. It can be fun. And next week, we're going to talk more about how to make it specific, how to express it specifically in whatever ways our hearts desire. Abundant flow. So keep in mind, as long as spirit is present, and that's always going to be, or we won't be here, we'll be in some other dimension, which is available to us. But think of this givingness of God as not out there, not out here somewhere, but right here, present within us. And we just are turning within and acknowledging its presence, giving thanks for it, feeling grateful for it, having fun kind of imagining, what if it looked like this, or what if it looked like that? And you start to feel good and relax. And when you can get to that place of realization and your energy agrees with this truth that you're trying to settle in, I want you to hold these ideas up here on the screen. I am the flow of substance, and so this is how I behave. I'm going to have you just take a look at those for a minute, and then we're going to go through and you can read out loud whichever one you want to emphasize. If you want more, that's great too. But just take a minute and take a look and see what's up there. Now I'm going to read them all so you can chime in whenever you want. I am relaxed because I know there's always enough. I am generous because I know there's always enough. I am joyful because I know there's always enough. I am creative as divine ideas stream through my thoughts. I am expectant because God's good flows through and as me. How exciting, right? And it's important that you notice those I am words, the words that come next. Relaxed, generous, joyful, creative, expectant. Any one of those words creates an energy in you that aligns with spirit and makes you open and receptive to your abundant flow. So keep seeking those energies, those emotions that align with that truth. One more thing from Eric Butterworth. One who keeps conscious that the divine flow is ever centered within him has faith that limitless substance will find expression through him in the form of creative ideas, ingenuity, the will to work, and a security of work opportunities, and more and more and more. Have fun with this, but first and foremost, establish it in your consciousness of what you've got to work with, where your supply comes from. And so here's your question for this week. How will I behave knowing God's infinite substance is flowing through all things and there's plenty for everyone? What a difference that will make in our lives. Let me ask that question again. Ask it of yourself. Let's say it together. How will I behave knowing God's infinite substance is flowing through all things and there's plenty for everyone? Shout out one way that you might behave, if that were what you might feel, or some short answer. How would you behave? Free. Oh my goodness. Just say that word. Free. Woohoo! What else? Relaxed. Joyful. Open. Creative. Stress-free. Excited. Full of hope. Expectant. Generous. Can you imagine? Can you just feel it? Let's meditate on that. That'll do it. If you were one of the ones who just shouted out your word, that's probably your word for meditation. But y'all can pick one. Pick any one for yourself. I'll throw out a few. So I'll just invite you to turn your thoughts inward. I know there's people sitting next to you. You might hear sounds. Feel your chair, but just keep turning back to your heart space. Breathe through your heart, quietly at your own pace. In this moment of full knowing, I relax and am grateful that the Spirit everywhere present is giving of itself through me. For a moment, I simply rest and give my attention to that flow of abundant good moving through me and through my life. Since divine substance is everywhere, I imagine that presence expressing fully through me. And I feel, fill in the blank, since I know the presence of infinite substance is flowing fully through me, I feel Just allow yourself to feel that. Is it grateful? Relieved? Expectant? Knowing this presence of everywhere substance flows freely in my life. I feel happy. Feel that happiness in your being. I feel creative. I feel generous. I feel ready to start something new. I feel powerful. I feel patient and allowing. I feel love. Divine substance, everywhere present, I behold abundance flowing through me and as me, and I allow that flow to continue to move, to create, to support, to begin. For there is nothing and no one that stands between me and my infinite good. And I am thankful. This is the truth of my being. And so I allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Oh, the places we'll go. We'll talk more about that next week. It's going to get more and more fun as we go through this together. This is the time in our service we share our abundant flow. We're just channels for that abundant good to move through us. So as we approach this time of sharing tithes and love offerings, it's a good chance and really the best choice to come back to your source first. Move into that state of awareness of the presence of substance, always giving of itself to us. How do we want to share that out into the world and to our spiritual community that supports you? If you're watching online, there's ways to do that. Besides manifesting that invisible substance, we have an on-site donation button at unityinnaperville.org, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. If you'd like to mail checks, you can send them to our P.O. Box 9733 in Naperville, 60567. And Susan is receiving credit cards at the info table if that works for you. However you seek to give, and for those of you who have already set up your online giving, we are grateful. Let's just see that flow of abundant good moving as we become a channel for that. I'll ask our ushers to come forward, and let's sing during this process.
So blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Sure. So let's just open up our hearts to this infinite substance. That's all this really is, coming from all that is. Let's speak our blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. Thank you. I'm going to ask Jill Maddox to come up and share for a moment. She's one of our board members.
Good morning, everybody. So I had no idea that Kity's message was going to be pretty much spot on to the story that I'm about to share with you, which I think is remarkable and probably not coincidental. So I'm going to share a quick story about this power of abundance that I truly believe in and have a really good story to share with you. So I was a dental hygienist for like 14, 15 years, and that's a pretty long period of time to have a career knowing that you were not supposed to be doing that. But I had this mindset that I'm not going to have enough money. How am I going to start over? I have no experience in anything else. My degree is so specific. How am I going to do what I'm passionate about without any substance? So for several years, I kept feeling, I am not supposed to do this. I am not supposed to do this. And thankfully, I have Carlos that is so encouraging and supportive of all of my sometimes crazy ideas. But my passion has always been about the environment and nature and supporting the environment and tree hugging, gardening, all those things. But I thought, how in the world am I going to do this with zero experience? How am I going to make a transition into that? So Carlos and I sat down for long periods of time discussing how will we make this happen. So we decided that I would go back and get another degree in environmental scientist field. And that is hard when you're working full time and it costs a lot of money and you go through these processes. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right choices? What am I doing? How am I going to get a job at 40 years old? So we knew it was going to be tough, but we also knew that having that mindset was not going to get us through it. We had to adopt the mindset that Kity just mentioned, that everything that I need is going to be provided for me. I am going to do fine. We're going to get through this, and a job is going to be waiting for me on the other side. So we stood strong in that, but we faltered. Don't get me wrong. There was moments where I'm like, oh, what am I doing? But during that transition, we made it. There was not a moment that we didn't get the bills paid. And at several times I thought, I can't do this. But I just kept telling myself over and over again, yes, we can. So fast forward several years, now I am an environmental scientist. I graduated and have a new career that I really, really love. But when I took this position, I actually took a 40% pay cut, which was incredibly scary. Like, how are we going to survive on 40% less money? That's a big deal. And this was all during the time of COVID as well, and we had no idea what was going to happen in the world. But again, we held true to that belief that all things were going to be possible. And then, so fast forward again, so I took that job, and not even a year later, just this past year in January, they promoted me. I didn't have to beg, I didn't have to compete against anybody, push any doors open. Basically, management begged me to take the position. So that's the mindset that Kity talks about, that doors will open without you having to push and shove and get your way through life. And now I'm making almost the same amount of money that I was making before, but I'm doing something I really love and really enjoy. And I feel like it more aligns better with my soul and who I am. So I truly believe in this mindset shift. And I mean, there's so many stories that all of us, I'm sure, could share. And so this is why I believe in the power of knowing that you have enough. And this is why I believe in supporting unity. Because for me personally, I need a recurring reminder every week, every day, every hour sometimes, of these principles. And I need to be around people that are like-minded, that share these same beliefs, that expand my own beliefs and hear other perspectives. And the main reason that I give to Unity and other various places reoccurringly is because Unity reoccurringly distributes and deposits into me. And so that's why I choose to, and because I'm forgetful, to continuously pour into Unity, because they are pouring back into me. So thank you all for providing this space for myself and others. And there's a verse that I really found encouraging. It says, "And God is able to make all grace abound to you, so you that having all sufficiency in all things at all times, you may abound in every good work." So thank you all.
So this month, if you were at the the annual meeting, you heard us mention as your board members that we're going to be inviting you all month long to consider setting up recurring giving. If this is your spiritual home and it is feeding you, would you consider setting it up so that you automatically are giving every week without you having to be here to do that? And if that sounds like something that you're ready to do, there are forms over on Susan's desk by the window to fill out, or just go to our website at unityinnaperville.org, click the donate button, and there will be an option to set it up there. If you have any questions afterwards, Jill has done this, see her afterwards on how to do it. But thank you so much for making this happen, because what you are is a channel for that infinite substance, and we're only here because of that. Thank you. Thank you for that. Steve, you want to come do your announcements? Thank you.
Thank you, Kity. Thank you, Jill. Landry, good morning. And I'm here to do the announcements today, as soon as my phone gets right. If you're here for the first time, either in the sanctuary or online, welcome. We're glad you're here. There is a gold registration card at the info table when you walk in. If you would please fill that out and then hand it at the info table to Susan, and we'll keep you abreast of all the announcements and happenings and goings-ons here at Unity. Monday morning metaphysics, which is every Monday morning and is tomorrow with Reverend Mary Beth Spear, is at 10:30, and it's a standalone event every week. You can get in any Monday. Shore Road Open Mic this Friday night at 7 o'clock. Performers get here at 6:30. It's a $5 cover, and it's amazing to come and spend the night watching these performers as well as being a performer. I would encourage you all to check it out. It's amazing for $5. Celebration of Life for Gordon Herzog. Unity's longtime friend and volunteer accountant is next Saturday. It's at 1:30 here at Unity. Please join us to share the love and share our memories of Gordon. Backroom Discussion meets on Zoom next Sunday after the service. If you have questions and you're online, you can join in. The Zoom link is always on the events calendar on that day. You can find the link. The Suzanne Giesman event on May 31st is sold out. If you'd like to be put on a waiting list, please email admin@unityinnaperville.org in case there's a cancellation, and she'll let you know. Unity Galleries upcoming Energy, Frequency, and Vibration exhibit debuts June 8th. So submissions of paintings, photography, sculpture, or any other medium are due by June 1st. For details or special instructions on all our events, please see the event calendar at unityinnaperville.org or see the e-news on Tuesdays. Our prayer chaplain today is Carol Gadbaugh, and she's available to pray with you in the prayer room, which is the first room on the right as you leave the sanctuary after the service. Or if you'd like to email your name and phone number to prayer@unityinnaperville.org, a prayer chaplain will call you today by 1 p.m. So thank you very much. Have a great day.
The thing about the Suzanne Giesman event is, I don't think we've ever had 150 people in this room. Now we're going to have 160 plus people in this room, and it's going to be crammed, and the parking lot's going to be crammed, and we really could use your help with this. Now, ideally, those of you who have a ticket for this would be the first to volunteer, but if you don't have a ticket and you still want to give from your heart before or after the event, sorry, you can't come into the event because there's no more seats for you, but we would love to have your help. And I'm talking about everything from working in the parking lot and showing them where to go, front and back or in between, give them a ride back around to the front. We need people in here to show them where to sit. We need people out there to help sell books. We need somebody in here to help people sign up or get their book signed with Suzanne. We've got tons of things that we need assistance with. So I'm begging, borrowing, and pleading for you to sign up out at the in the cafe against the wall over here. There's a sign-up sheet, and we're going to have a planning session on Tuesday, May 20th at 6:30 on Zoom. So that's all on the sign-up sheet. If you'd please let me know one way or the other if you please let me know if you can volunteer for this event, we'd be deeply grateful. That's May 31st. Starts at 1:30, but we may need you as early as 11. We may need you as late as 4 o'clock. So if you can be flexible and make this happen, we're going to make a great impression on 150 people, most of which don't know us. It's our chance to welcome another 100 plus people to Unity that's never found us before. So thank you for any assistance. See me out front if you want to have your questions answered on that, okay? Let's stand as we're able. We've got one more song, right? Yes. I'm so good at this. Who was born in the month of May? Would you please stand? Stand on up. Come on.
Let's sing to our friends, yes?
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friend. Happy birthday to you.
Best year ever, I promise you, and then it'll just get better after that. All right, let's stand and sing one last song.
Let us go forth confident in the mind of Christ within us and in the flow, yes? And that substance and supply. Let's go forth blessing and loving one another. Together. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be peaceful and may you be loved. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be peaceful and may you be loved. Go ahead and look at your neighbor. We'll sing that again. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be peaceful and may you be loved. May you be well, yes. May you be happy. May you be peaceful and may you be loved. Send it out to all of my relations. I bow to you. And we are all related. A common thread runs right through. And we can sing this simple song for the ones in pain. And we sing for the suffering. once more. May you be well, yes. May you be happy. May you be peaceful, and may you be loved.
You may if you say it may. So say it may, all right? You guys are dog freaks. That's all I can say. I love dogs too. Don't get me wrong. All right. So as we look at all these fun flowers in this picture, I just want you to imagine that that's substance. See how it's just everywhere, filling up all space and time. Let's say these words together. I am grateful knowing God's supply is within me and all around me. Please take a minute to turn to somebody you haven't met yet, can't remember their name. Ask them what they thought about today. Join us for food out front. Have a great week, everyone. Love you.
Yeah, Marley, you come on up here and play some drums. Come on, you know you want to. We'll wait for you. And everyone online, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure spending time together, yes? Let Marley get on that kick. There you go, Marley. We have another drum on the house. Way up, higher, way up, here I go, way up, before I know it, I am rising to new horizons. Way up, higher, way up, here I go, way up, where they going, I know it, I am rising to new horizons. Way up. I'm graduating. Rise, 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 rise. I cut the ropes. Fear is falling from me. I am beginning to fly, 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 fly. Way up, higher. Way up, here I go. Before I know it, yes, I